Hello again, Fish-A-Lots. Johnny Fish-A-Lot here, and when it comes to fall fishing, especially in November, these 5 lures are going to be incredibly tough to beat. Now, this 5 lure video is not going to be your run-of-the-mill largemouth bass fishing video where I tell you to fish crankbaits and jerkbaits and just all the regular run-of-the-mill stuff that everybody else is fishing with. I want to give you some extra stuff that nobody talks about, stuff that you won't see a lot of largemouth bass Fish-A-Lots out there fishing with, and stuff that give me an edge every time I go out on the water fishing for largemouth bass, because nobody else really fishes the way I do. Because look, I fish for everything that moves and swims, and you pick up a lot of those tactics and you can apply a lot of those tactics to any fish you want to catch anywhere, which is why I made this channel, was to cut through all the noise, alleviate all the confusion, and get you back to some basic fundamental fishing techniques that are going to catch you a ton of fish when you're out there on the water, and none of which is more important than just going to ultralight. That's right, you can ultralight fish and just catch so many big largemouth bass. As you can see in this video right here, right? You're fishing with 2-pound test line. You take advantage of the fact that the fish aren't detecting the line nearly as much. They're new presentations, they're smaller presentations, and they're gonna trigger you a lot more bites. It's gonna get you to the basics of just catching fish, and you can catch some huge largemouth bass, just like these guys right here. I mean, these are big fish, super fun, you know? They take drag, they fight hard on this ultralight gear. It's not like you're setting the hook on a heavy power rod with 25-pound braid or 65-pound braid because you gotta rip that fish up out of a stump. You hook into a 6-pound bass and it's in the boat within 3 seconds. Not a good time for anyone. I don't like fishing that way. To be honest with you, it's silly to fish that way. And let me talk to you about some of the things you could use out there that really give you an edge. First off is this fin spin underspin, I should say. So what's cool about this is it's got a hole in the eye where you can actually take something like this Crappie Slab Bites right here. You could roll these things up in your hand. You could put it in the eye of the jig head right here, and then you just pair it with a soft plastic minnow. That's it. You're just going to take a fluke, just a soft plastic with a fluke tail, and some of the ones I like to use are just a basic zoom, tiny flukes. I use translucent colors, some natural looking colors. That's if you're fishing in good light conditions and you have very clear water. These things will do just fine. If you're fishing dark conditions, like a lot of times in the fall it is, right? This is November, you know, I mean, yeah, it's sunny out, but keep in mind the sun is not going to be that strong in November like it is in June or July or August, right? You are not summertime fishing, so the sunlight's not going to be that strong, so I typically go for some darker colors. Black is a really good option, and something bright, so white or chartreuse. Those 3 color options, especially in November, as you're getting a lot of rain, as the water is getting muddier, as you're getting lower light conditions, those are going to be just great. Now, the other thing I already mentioned is adding scent. I absolutely love adding scent this time of year because those bass are looking to feed, but you know, they're in a cooling trend, right? The water temperatures are getting colder. They're going to get less and less active as you get closer to winter, and so scent is just an awesome edge. I love using these Crappie magnet slab bites. Again, I like kind of wedging them in the hole of the jig head of these fin spins, also by Crappie magnet. Really, really awesome. Or you could just go simple. You could go with Gulp minnows. Everything eats a gulp. I fish for this for striped bass, fluke fishing, bass fishing, crappie fishing. Everything eats a gulp, and that is a really good way to go. Or if you just have a soft plastic, you don't have any of that, you can buy some Procure menhaden bunker shad scents, something that smells like a fish. If it looks like a fish, if it's swimming like a fish, if it smells like a fish, you have a better chance of a largemouth bass eating it. And something else that largemouth bass Fish-A-Lots just never talk about, and I have no idea why, is a bucktail. Largemouth bass love hair. Striper love hair. Fluke love hair. Just about everything loves a bucktail, so I have no idea why more people don't talk about bucktails, especially in November and fall. A, bass love this hair, and B, this hair will actually control the descent of your jig head. And same type of thing, you know, you could put a soft plastic on here, you could put a gulp on here, you can make a lot of scent with this. Just fish absolutely love it. The other thing with the bucktail is you can kind of control the descent based on your hair selection. So if you want even a slower descent, you just add a little bit more hair just like this. And this gives a really good look to your bait right here. As you reel it in, the hair will condense, and as you slow down your retrieve or stop the lure, the hair will puff out and it'll give that kind of pulsating look like a fish would under the surface. Again, we use this for striper fishing, for fluke fishing, and you could absolutely love it, use it for largemouth bass fishing. Here's a rod rigged up with one right here. This is another Spro bucktail, absolutely awesome. And again, don't go heavy with your presentation. So many bass fish lots out there like, you need the biggest reel possible. impossible to catch that 5-pounder. You don't, okay? 10-pound test line. This is 8-pound mono right here and just catches a ton of fish. You want that lure to fall slowly. Again, those fish are gonna be on vertical transitions or at least moving to more vertical transitions. I like to look for spots that have some shallow water adjacent to deeper water so that I could fish all levels of the water column with lures just like this. Do yourself a favor with your gear and go moderate action rods for just about all this. You could go medium heavy power, that's fine, right? You don't need a whole lot of force to bend that rod, and moderate action so you get a lot of bend in the rod so you could feel these lures when they're in the water column and you have some shock absorption when those fish hit. And bucktails is no different, right? This is actually moderate light action rod right here, and it's absolutely perfect. I fish with this for just about everything. Big striper, big largemouth, you name it, you can catch it. Moderate action is just way better than the extra fast action and medium heavy rods for so many of these lure applications. And again, I like to pair them up with Gulp. Everything eats a Gulp. Add a ton of scent into the water. This time of year, I like to add the scent more than other times of the year because these bass are looking to feed when they prepare for winter. So scent's always a great idea. Jig heads, bucktails, ultralight, those are your first two type of lures that nobody's really talking about that could really get you a lot of fish this fall, especially in November, moving into December. Next up is a tactic that I feel like is only really talked about in the spring and the summer, and I don't know why, and that's wacky rigs. So, you know, you could use a Yamamoto Senko and your classic wacky rig setup and just catch a ton of fish for all the same reasons I'm talking about. Now, color selections here in the fall, I like to use dark colors, use a heavy hook, a heavy lure like a Yamamoto Senko. Senkos are heavily salted. They sink in the water column a lot better than Yumdingers or Stickos or any one of those other wacky worm type of riggings or type of worms. And I like to use heavy hooks. These are owner hooks. They're made with thick steel. It gets me through that water column a lot quicker that way. I also like VMC from Rapala. Also good hooks for wacky worm. But the heavier hook you use, the less you're gonna tear your worm as well, and the more you're gonna get it down in that water column. I can fish these things in 10 feet of water with absolutely no problem. What I like to do is I cast it out, I let it sink, and then I actually jig it pretty sharply, jigging it through the water column. I'm actually using it as a search bait. I'm not doing your stereotypical lift it up, let it fall, lift it up, let it fall. I'm actually using it as a search bait. I'm covering a lot of water. I'm looking for those fish looking to stock up on food for the winter time, and that's a great choice for it too. Wacky rigs and wacky worms. I don't know why we don't talk about that more, but it's a great fall lure to use. And so now this next bait actually is not that uncommon to fish in the fall, but I feel like I have to mention it, and that's just a good old-fashioned spinner bait, because so many people are going to the new shiny thing on the wall, like the glide baits and the super expensive jerk baits and all the mega bass type of stuff. Everything that costs you $25, $35, $45 just for a single lure. I mean, just going back to the basics, spinner bait fishing, okay? The great thing about this is how versatile spinner baits are, and for some reason, people aren't fishing with spinner baits as much as they used to, and I think that's costing you a lot of fish. So again, you can fish this anywhere in the water column. The fish now are going through a cooling period. They're gonna go more vertical, so I can fish this deep, I can fish this shallow. Again, just like a buzz bait, I could even tow this in the water just below the surface of the water to trigger a ton of bites, just like I would a buzz bait. So this is another great option. And for my trailers, again, paddle baits, fluke tails, like your jig and minnow, same thing. All the spinner bait is a jig head with some blades, and if you put a minnow on there, it's a jig and minnow. Catches a ton of fish. Now, something in the fall to touch on is the blades. Now, in the springtime, I like to put a little red up in these top blades, just give the fish something to target for whatever reason. In the spring, red stands out. They're looking to feed very heavily before the spawn. But in the fall, I like to go with some Colorado blades. I like the vibration in the water from Colorado blades. The vibration is what's attracting the fish to the bait. And then when they get close enough to the bait, my skirt, my trailer, that's what's going to end up triggering the bite. But the blades, I don't really worry too much about the color. Okay, what I want to do is in cloudier water, under 1 foot of visibility, you're really going to want to focus on some bigger blades. And then as you get clearer and clearer in the water, you could go with even your willow leaf blades. So if you're fishing in the fall and you got some clear conditions, these willow leaf blades will be great. If you're fishing in cloudier conditions where you can't see even 2 feet in front of you, something like that, really big baits could come into play. Now, another thing with bigger blades here is in the fall time, you don't want to be burning these spinner baits like you are like in the spring or even in the summertime. What you want to do is slow it down. And I notice there's a lot of fish lots out there that don't have the discipline to just kind of slow it down. Don't mean that in a bad way. You know, we're tired, we work all week. You you finally get to fishing, you just want it to happen, right? But depending on the water conditions and how cold that water is getting, you may have to slow down your presentation, and these big blades will absolutely do that. They'll give you a lot more resistance in the water as you reel in the baits, and that'll help slow you down because you're just not going to be able to reel it as fast, and slowing it down will actually trigger just so many bites. The bigger blades too, if you're fishing this really slowly, can also attract those fish with the vibration if you're fishing in really muddy water. So there's a couple of tactics and tips. Those Colorado blades are really going to work out for you to help you slow down your presentation and catch some fish that way, especially if you want to work those depths, right? So you want to get that bait down. If you reel it too fast, it's going to come way up in the water column and it's going to be out of the fish's strike zone, and you don't want that. So Colorado blades, spinner baits. I know it's not a new bait and it's not something that bass fish lots out there don't talk about, but it's something that's being used less and less nowadays, and I don't know why, and it could really catch a lot of fish. Now, another kind of overlooked lure is buzz baits. Topwater lures in general, but buzz baits. Buzz baits are absolutely great because you could slow these down a lot in the water column and cover a ton of water. You're not fishing this fast like in the summer, or like if you're using it in the springtime. A lot of people use this in the summertime, just burn buzz baits, right? You want to slow it down. You want to fish this slow just under the water column. You don't have to go nuts, you know? You could just use a frog. I actually like using the buzz bait and a frog without a skirt. You can use a skirt and a paddle tail. You could use just about anything, but buzz baits are super underrated when it comes to largemouth bass fishing in the fall. Top waters in general, I don't pay too much attention to the device here that's trying to spin around the actual buzz bait itself. I'm more paying attention to the jig head and the soft plastic that I'm putting on it so that I could trigger those bites. This is really just the attractant on the surface of the water, and with so many bass pushing shad up to the surface, feeding before the real cold of winter hits, just a really great option that I don't think a whole lot of people talk about when it comes to November and fall fishing. Now, I'll tell you this, right? I'll talk about the gear here really briefly. I mentioned it once or twice with ultralight fishing. Do not go heavy gear when it comes to this colder water fishing. So much bad advice out there is like, go with the heaviest gear you could do, right? Heavy power rods, fast action rods, right? That combo is the absolute worst for this time of year, to be honest with you. You want to fish with a bucktail, use a medium power rod and moderate action. That is going to be your more versatile equipment that you could use to use all these tactics right here. So don't be afraid to use spinning rods either. I don't know why it's uncool to use spinning rods a lot of times in fishing, but spinning gear is absolutely phenomenal for all of these lures, especially the jig heads, the ultralight fishing, the bucktails. Spinning rods are really awesome. If you're using buzz baits, if you're using crankbaits, spinner baits, any of those things, again, moderate action rods are ideal this time of year because of that resistance that those lures are going to pose for you. It'll let you slow things down to catch more fish. Also, let's talk about speed of the reels. Everybody wants to go 6-2 to 1 and 8 to 1 and 7 to 1 gear ratio reels. Slow it down. There's no problem in getting a lower gear ratio on your fishing reels to slow down your presentations. Worst case scenario, if the fish are active and you need to spin it up, guess what, fish lots? You can just reel it in faster and you'll be able to accomplish exactly what you're doing. So again, my recommendation, moderate action rods, medium heavy rods, and of course, slower gear ratio rods. And a lot of this advice is bucking all that Bassmaster Classic stuff out there. So if you want to know how this stuff works and you really want to hone in your skills with it, go ahead and click on this video right here where I'm doing exactly that, using these exact tactics and catching some huge bass. All right, fish lots, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you out there on the water.